Lawmakers are on vastly different paths with no clear plan to prevent a government shutdown. That deadline is just 3 days away.
Hard right Republicans in the House want significant spending cuts and conservative policy provisions, including more funding for the southern border. Any bill passed with those terms will likely be dead on arrival in the Democrat-controlled Senate. The Senate is moving forward with its own short-term funding plan to keep the government running through mid-November.
This bipartisan CR is a temporary solution, a bridge towards cooperation and away from extremism. And it will allow us to keep working to fully fund the federal government and spare American families the pain of a shutdown.
The plan maintains current levels of government spending plus additional funding for Ukraine and disaster relief, but it faces dim prospects in the Republican-controlled House.
We're bringing up on Friday ability to fund the government, but at the same time secure our border. So yes, we're doing our job.
It's unclear if Speaker Kevin McCarthy has the votes to pass it, facing a rebellion from hardline members of his party pressing for deeper spending cuts. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell urged his colleagues not to shut down the government.
The choice facing Congress, pretty straightforward. We can take the standard approach and fund the government for 6 weeks at the current rate of operations, or we can shut the government down in exchange for a zero meaningful progress on policy.
So Congress may just push back the issue and pass a continuing resolution. This is a temporary spending bill that would allow the government to stay open even when final appropriations have not been approved. Some Republicans say any temporary bill is a non-starter. They want the government to shut down until Congress approves all 12 bills that fund the government. Yesterday, just 19 of the 100 U.S. senators opposed a bill to avert the shutdown. Among those 19 were both Tennessee senators, Marsha Blackburn and Bill Hagerty. Both Georgia senators, John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, voted in favor of keeping the government open.
The Senate's plan gives billions of dollars in aid to Ukraine and for natural disaster relief. And hardline Republicans have railed against including foreign aid in the bill. Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene plans to make sure the House has their voice heard as well.
If he sends it over, guess what we can do? We can take it apart and put it in there what we think we want in there. There's always that way to do it. Just because the Senate sends it over to the House does not mean we have to accept anything on their terms.
President Biden is calling McCarthy out for backing out of an agreement the two sides had made on spending levels during the debt ceiling negotiations, writing, "We shook hands. Now they're reneging on the deal."
Non-essential government functions will grind to a halt if the government shuts down, while essential employees will remain on the job. They won't be getting paid. And for transportation, that could mean delays and longer wait times for travelers at airports.
We can't afford a shutdown right now because of the disruptions that it would cause to transportation. Cancellations are back down to normal after everything we went through last summer. This summer, they're actually a little bit below where they were before COVID. But in order to keep that going, we've got to be able to hire air traffic controllers.
During the 2019 shutdown, hundreds of Transportation Security Administration officers did not work. Many of them had to look for other ways to pay the bills.
House Republicans are planning to plow ahead with their impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden in the event of a government shutdown. GOP-led committees heading the Biden impeachment inquiry will be deemed essential if the government shuts down. However, a lapse in federal funding could present logistical challenges. Committees will be seeking information from government agencies where many employees will be furloughed, making issuing subpoenas and getting witnesses